Matthew 7:29. Ein gar didaskon autus hos exousian echon, kai uk hos hoi grammates auton. Remember right above, we were finishing the Sermon on the Mount, and Matthew notes that the crowds were amazed at Jesus' teaching. And then we have this explanatory clause, gar, giving us the reason they were amazed. And remember, these postpositive words like gar and dad, they jump second normally in the clause. So, for he was teaching them, he was teaching these crowds, as or like one having authority. In other words, as one having authority teaches, and not like their scribes were teaching, right? And if you've never read some of the traditional Jewish teaching of this time, of course there's debates about some of the exact dates on when we should put some of this, but if you read some of the Mishnah, you'll see a lot of the Jewish authoritative teaching was appealing to the authority of previous scribes. Very different from the way that Jesus taught, where he said, truly, truly, I say unto you, right? This is true because I say so, says Jesus. Very different than quoting Rabbi Eliezer or Rabbi Gamaliel. Let's look at this construction right here. We have ein plus didaskon. That is a form of ami plus a participle. Do you remember what that's called? That's called a periphrastic use of the participle, a form of ami plus the participle. Here, that ein, I'll remind you, the imperfect forms of ami. You have amain, ace, ein, ding, 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 right there. I was, you were, he was. All right, so he was teaching. It's just a present active participle, nominative, masculine, singular. Now, someone here may be wondering, couldn't you just say edidasken? Couldn't you use the imperfect? He was teaching. Well, you could, right? In fact, periphrastic means a periphrase. It means a roundabout way of saying, of phrasing the same thing. Is there any difference between just the imperfect edidasken, he was teaching, and ein didaskon? Well, scholars generally are agreed that there's a greater emphasis on the verbal aspect of the participle in this construction than in this construction. So the periphrastic construction places more emphasis on the verbal aspect. Here, the imperfective aspect. So Jesus' teaching, we might say, paraphrase, was characterized by. What was his teaching characterized by? It was characterized by the manner and the authority with which he taught, unlike the derivative authority of the scribes of his contemporaries.